Hi, my name is Olivia. I've landed just in time to catch another segment of Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers with William Craig III. Today, Mr. Craig will be demonstrating another powerful prompt to help us use AI effectively in our job search. I can't wait to see what he's going to share with us. And the best part is, I can watch the replay on his LinkedIn profile or his YouTube channel at Get Up and Get a Job. Okay, fasten your seatbelts. Mr. Craig is about to take off.
All right. Thank you, Olivia. And welcome back to those of you who have been following this series, either in person or by watching the replays. And a warm welcome if this is your first time joining. This is Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers. And I'm William Craig III, a professional career coach. And I've got a clear mission for this series to help you move beyond overwhelm and into action. The fact is, people who put out resources with hundreds of AI prompts are well-meaning, but too many prompts can actually be paralyzing. So instead, I've focused on giving you just one powerful, practical prompt each and every day. The goal? To help you run your job search or your job campaign with clarity, confidence, and strategy using AI as your assistant, not your replacement. Today, as always, we're building on that momentum. And if you've missed any of the segments, feel free to watch the replays on my LinkedIn profile or on my YouTube channel at Get Up and Get a Job. Alrighty. Well, welcome back. And let's see here right out of the back, we got Donna saying good afternoon to everybody. So good afternoon to you too, Donna. Let's see. Patrice says, let me get some of that. Greetings, team. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Alrighty. So let's jump right in. You know, yesterday, what did we do? We went to ChatGPT to ask it to help Mary with regards to her STAR, her STAR interview question answers. And so today we're going to be along the same lines, but I want you all to try this prompt on for size. So here we go. List 10 behavioral interview questions Mary would likely be asked during an interview for the APAR specialist role used in our last session, and give bullet point ideas she could use to answer each. So while we got more into the STAR format, if you will, for answering the STAR framework, today we're going to show you that ChatGPT can actually go back and remember what it was that we covered. You remember that prompt yesterday? I put the job description in the prompt. Well, it's going to actually pull from that prompt for that job description and now give us 10 behavioral interview questions that Mary would likely be asked for that position. So I hope you see the power here. If you've got a job interview coming up, and there's several ways you can do this, but for today's example, you can take the job description, pop it into ChatGPT, and ask it, hey, based on this job description, give me 10 possible behavioral interview questions, or just 5 interview questions and 5 behavioral interview questions that I might be asked, and give me some ideas. So let's go ahead, and we're going to see what ChatGPT comes up with for us. As again, if you're new to our series, I don't do these ahead of time. Only thing I do ahead of time is create the prompts, and then we allow chat to answer live. And I hope you all are doing well. Again, if you're in a place where the weather is crazy, we're praying for you, got you on our minds, and please do everything you can to stay safe. If you need help, reach out, okay? And I'll do everything that I can to provide some assistance or get assistance to you. All right, great. Here's a tailored list of 10 behavioral interview questions Mary might be asked for the APAR specialist role based on the job description we worked with. Love it, love it, love it. For each, I've added bullet point ideas she can use to shape her responses confidently. So here we go. Number 1, tell me about a time you solved a tough problem using GAP. Now, that's what we actually did yesterday. So chat, you kind of cheated there, because that's the one we actually used yesterday. All right. $500,000 unidentified payments, apply gaps, matching principal and accrual basis, trace funds, reconcile invoices, collaborated with teams, cleared balance, reduced future errors by 80%, ensured audit readiness. So again, what did chat do? Chat is giving us bullet points so we don't have to try and memorize everything, because people always say, oh my gosh, I can't memorize all this stuff. And you can use cue cards. You can have your own cue cards, whether it's in person or virtual, to help guide you. All right. So again, the bullets simply are there to spark your memory as it relates to what you want to talk about. All right. Number 2, describe a time you had to manage competing deadlines. That's a good one. How did you prioritize? And this is a common question, quite honestly. Competing priorities, very, very, very common. So the bullet points, month end close plus daily cash application. So she's juggling both. All righty. Prioritize based on deadlines and impact. Invoices first to keep vendors paid. That makes sense. Use checklists and ERP alerts for tracking, and then complete it, close on time, avoided late vendor payment. So again, these are just the bullet points, the high level. You got to know what goes in between. We got the bread on the bottom and the bread on the top. You need to know what the meat needs to look like on the inside. And again, you can do this for your specialty. This is geared to accounts receivable, accounts payable. And for those of you who know anything about this, you can see that this is good stuff. All righty. Give me an example of how you handled a discrepancy with a vendor or customer. Found billing mismatch with client invoices, communicated directly with vendor and internal legal, provided documentation, resolved quickly, preserved vendor relationship, and ensured compliance. So you can see the steps at a high level that Mary would have taken going through this particular discrepancy and making sure that at the end, the vendor relationship stays intact. And at the same time, she is ensuring that she's in compliance with the regs and the company policies. All right, here's the next one. Tell me about a time you had to learn new software quickly. All right, I'm sure we can all relate to that no matter what industry we're in. So the bullet points for Mary: transition to new accounting software at law firm, self-taught with manuals and peer support, documented steps for team, trained colleagues, and then transition completed smoothly, no disruption to financial operations. So here we go. If we're using our STAR format, we're talking about the fact that I started a position at a law firm that used a different accounting software that I was accustomed to using. So my objective was to learn it as quickly as possible. And so I took the materials and dove into them, taught myself how to use them. Where I had questions, I made sure that I asked my peers. And I documented the steps for my team so that I was in a position now to train other colleagues as it relates to how to use the software. And as a result, the transition was completed smoothly. There was no disruption to financial operations. You'll see that? There's your S, your T, your A, and your R. All righty, let's go on because we got 6 more of these. Describe a time you found a process improvement opportunity. Oh, wow, this is cool. So payment application process left high volume of unapplied cash. Created workflow to trace payments and standardize posting. Reduced unapplied cash by 80%. Improved accuracy, reporting, and cash flow visibility. So again, if this is your first time watching, or if you missed yesterday's session, this is pulling not only from the job description, but from Mary's resume to give real world examples to these questions as it relates to the answers. Number 6, give me an example of handling high volume workload under pressure. So process $30 million, over $30 million in weekly cash deposits, managed 100 to 500 collection calls per week, used time blocking, templates, and ERP batch processing, met all deadlines, and exceeded collection goals. Oh my goodness, love it, love it, love it. Here's the next question. Tell me about a time you had to work with a difficult stakeholder. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you, but I've certainly had that question asked, right? It may have been a difficult supervisor or manager, but today we're going to use the stakeholder verbiage. All right, here we go. So customer disputing invoice terms. So here we go. We got a customer who's saying, hey, those invoice terms are not correct. Stay calm, gathered data from contracts and sales orders. So got all the documentation that was needed to prove my case, presented facts and explained clearly, and then resolved dispute, preserved relationship, and secured the payment. So it's all in knowing how to approach the situation. Love it, love it, love it. Describe how you've contributed to a successful month end or year end close. Completed reconciliations, accruals, and journal entries accurately, collaborated with cross-functional teams, ensured compliance with GAAP and audit standards, and closed books on time and without adjustments. And again, for those of you who live in this world, you see that these are spot on, again, based on Mary's resume, which is so important that we include the accomplishments in the resume so we can have stories like this that we can pull out, as well as juxtaposing them against the job description. All right, couple more. Tell me about a mistake you made at work and how you handled it, because we all know mistakes are common, right? Posted payment to wrong client account early in career. I love what we just did there. You see that? Early in career. This isn't something I did recently. All right. I'm going back and I'm talking about something that happened a long time ago. All right. We got to remember stuff like that, because sometimes you get so in the moment and then you're nervous, which you shouldn't be nervous, but I understand you can get nervous, but you start talking about something recent. We don't need to do that. Here's something that happened early in my career. Identified the error quickly through reconciliation, reported immediately, corrected entry, notified stakeholders. So didn't try to sweep it under the rug or pretend like it didn't happen. All righty. And then here we go, implemented personal double check system. So that way there would be no repeats. Well, Mary, can you tell us about your double check system? See, that's where we get to, in the interview, talk more about what we did. Mary might even offer up, I implemented my personal double check system to ensure that there would be no repeats of that. Would you like me to explain what my double check system entailed? See, and boom, now you're getting them involved. It's engaging and you're showing them the professional that you are. Okay. And that's what is so very important. All right. The last one, describe a time you worked successfully on a remote or cross-functional team. Collaborated across legal, finance, and operations remotely. Use Slack, Teams, and NetSuite to communicate and track progress. Now, for those of you who've been following along with us in the series, and even if you're watching the replays, or if you want to watch the replays, you'll see that some of these are platforms that Mary had to learn. And she created a schedule, or allowed chat to help her create a schedule so she could learn how to use Slack, for example. All right. Set clear updates, shared documentation, and completed project on time, strengthen interdepartmental relationships. So these bullet points are idea anchors, yes, that Mary can expand into star answers. Would you like me to prioritize the top 3 most impactful stories from her resume that she should master cold? The quote unquote power stories she can adapt to multiple questions. And yes, let me first of all give it a thumbs up, and then I'm going to address this, because what I tell my clients, where's my period? There we are. What I tell my clients is that you only need about 5 to 7 good stories. Why? Because at the end of the day, you can spin those stories however you like. So what does that mean? That means that 1 or 2 or 3 stories could be used to answer different questions. So we had 10 questions answered. And at the end of the day, or asked of us today, you may not have 10. You may only have 5 or 6. You may have 12. But here we go. At the end of the day, you can spin a story based on the details of the story and make them coincide with the question that's being asked. So here, let's take a look at what chat is going to give us here. So again, we're talking about the three most impactful stories from her resume that she should master. Why? Because these are her power stories that she can adapt to multiple questions. She could use the same stories to answer multiple questions. So here we go. Here are the top 3 power stories from Mary's resume that she should master cold and be ready to adapt to multiple behavioral interview questions. So number 1, 500K unidentified payments, audit readiness, and gap compliance. Situation: there were $500 in unidentified cash payments at a law firm, delaying reconciliations and posing audit risks. The action she took: she applied GAP's matching principle, performed detailed reconciliations, and collaborated with teams documented for audit. Result: cleared full balance, preserved compliance, reduced future unidentified payments by 80%, streamlined month-end close. Now, here we go. And now you guys get to see this. You can use this information to answer the following 3 questions. Tell me about solving a tough problem, or give me an example of ensuring accuracy under pressure, or tell me about a time when you made a process improvement. Are y'all seeing this? So it doesn't matter which one of these questions she's asked, she can use this star situation to answer any one of these 3 questions. Do you like that? I hope you like it. Let me know. Let me know. All right, here's the next example. $70 million aging report reduced to $30 million, collections and stakeholder management. So the situation: managed $70 million aging report with significant outstanding balances. The action that she took: engaged directly with clients, streamlined follow-ups, applied strategic recovery plans. Again, these are bullet points. You would put the meat on the bones. And as a result, she was able to reduce the outstanding balances to $30 million, which strengthened cash flow and improved client trust. Okay, what could she answer? Which questions could she answer using this? Tell me about a time when you met or exceeded a goal. Give me an example of handling a high volume workload. Tell me about a time you worked with a difficult stakeholder. Again, she can take this one star story. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. And she can answer any one of these 3 questions. Please, 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 please play with this. Please do this for yourself so that it can help you to prepare for your interview questions. And gosh, it just saved me time having to coach you. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Next one. Last one. Transition to new accounting software. All right. We saw that earlier. Change management and teamwork. Situation: firm adopted a new accounting platform. There was a risk of disruption during the transition. So what did I do? I learned the new system quickly, documented the processes, and trained colleagues, which helped to maintain the workflows. And as a result, there was a smooth transition with zero disruption to operations, preserved accuracy and timeliness. And this speaks to so much as it relates to a person's willingness to go the extra mile. That speaks to a person's ability to put in the extra effort to make sure that the job gets done. And so, what could she use this to answer? What can she answer using this? Tell me about a time you had to learn something new quickly. Give me an example of working in a team, and describe a time you ensured continuity during change. All right. Change is inevitable. And so this was great. If Mary keeps these 3 core stories polished and flexible, she'll be prepared for 70 to 80% of behavioral interview questions. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Would you like me to also create a cheat sheet version, a 1-pager with bolded numbers, gap terms, and results that she can use as an interview prep guide? And normally I would say yes, but I want you to go in and say yes. This was perfect. This was excellent. I wish ChatGPT was a person. so that I could tell it what a marvelous job it did. And yeah, I could type it in, but I'm not going to. The thumbs up is enough. So let's get the link here. All right, I've copied the link, and let me pull out of this and go to, all righty, and put this in the comments, and then I'm going to read the comments that you all have put in. So those of you who are watching live on YouTube, there you have the link for today's session. All right, so let's see here. So first off, Daniel joined us. Daniel from NYC in the house. Thank you, Daniel. Good afternoon to you. Patrice says, love this. I've got my homework cut out for me regarding revising my interview prep. You go, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Daniel says, if I understand you correctly, you can remix your star stories based on who you're addressing. Absolutely. And based on the question that you have been given. So in the examples, we got three base star stories that are the most impactful from her experiences. And now, depending upon the 9 different examples that she's been given, the 9 different question examples that she's asked, she could use any one of these stories based on, or each story had 3 different options. Okay, so I should say it that way. So for each star story, there were 3 different options, 3 different questions that she could use to answer, use that star story to answer those questions. And again, yes, absolutely. So depending upon who's asking what or what you're being asked, there you go. TJ Richardson says, nice. I have some refresh homework to do. Good job. Good job. All righty. So listen, that's all I got for you today. From what I see, the feedback you all are giving me, this has been a benefit to you. And so again, Daniel, you're most welcome. Thank you again for being here, because it shows me that you're serious about being successful in your job campaign. You know, and when I share with clients all the time that, you know, there's a lot to getting a job today. You know, we have moved so far past looking at a job posting, picking up the phone and calling somebody, you know, going in for an interview. We have moved past that. Now we've got to show value. We've got to show that we are astute job candidates. And that's what I am attempting to help you become using the Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers series. So in this way, you know how to go in and you know how to do things for yourself that help show that you are truly, truly an astute 21st century job candidate. You are most welcome, TJ. Thank you as well for being here. So again, you all have the prompt. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure, as Les Brown would say, to be with you today. Whatever you do for the rest of your day, stay safe in all that you do. And I look forward to seeing you here one more time tomorrow at the same bat time, same bat channel. God bless everybody.
Wow, that was fantastic. I haven't been this excited to learn about something since I left basketball. Anyway, Mr. Craig did another great job of sharing an AI prompt that anyone can use in their job search. Be sure to join him every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, on his LinkedIn profile or his YouTube channel called Get Up and Get a Job. You can watch the replays there as well. And while you're at it, share this information with someone you know who wants or needs a new job. I've got to run. My team needs me. But keep up the great work, Mr. Craig. You're providing a great service for the community. I'm going to tell all of my players about Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers with William Craig III.